Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, total switch of focus. We're doing some local armchair travel today and visiting a part of the country I confess I don't know particularly well personally, the northern coast of KwaZulu-Natal. I've been there once or twice for passing visits. I've never spent any chunk of time there. I'm aware of the significance of the Isimangaliso Wetland Park. I have had occasion to visit it briefly more than 30 years ago, and it was still called the St. Lucia Wetland area. And I remember it being a place of haunting beauty is what I would say. There were these eerie mangrove swamps. There was the crunch of dried crab shells underfoot as you explored the estuaries. There was that beautiful, rugged, wild coastline and so much untouched beachfront. It was extraordinarily beautiful. But that was in sort of 1990 or 1980, somewhere in the early 1990s, I think. A lot has changed since then, including the fact that the St. Lucia Park was renamed the Isimangaliso Wetland Park in 2007, including the fact that it has in fact been incorporated into a wider trans-frontier marine park which straddles South Africa, Mozambique and Eswatini. The area is also declared a World Heritage Site because of its rich biodiversity. In fact, the South African portion constitutes the third biggest protected area in our country. So there's been a huge effort to preserve this beautiful part of our coastline. And if you have had the luxury of spending a lot of time there and want to share with us what makes it so special, I would love to hear from you with a WhatsApp to 072 567 1567. But as always, in a place like this, you face the delicate balancing act of, on the one hand, wanting to develop human access so that people can visit these places and appreciate them and learn to love them, because we tend to protect the things that we love. And as we had a conversation a week or two ago, if people aren't engaged, if they aren't interested, if we allow the ocean to remain an unknown for communities who live by its side, we can't expect them to be invested in preserving it and holding on to its pristine beauty. So it's really important that we do allow human appreciation. But how do you do that? How do you develop to facilitate that appreciation in a way that doesn't damage the landscape that you are looking at through overdevelopment? It's a question that many communities are grappling with all around the world. And of course, the bald answer is that you have to tread very, very lightly to ensure that what you design and what you put in place to host visitors is in harmony with the natural environment and encourages a sustainable way of operating in that space. The sense that your visitors take only photographs and leave behind only their footprints in the sand. And why am I talking about all of this? Because today I want to explore a venue which does seem to be getting it very, very right. So much so that it's just been recognized as South Africa's leading beach hotel for the second year running at the annual World Travel Awards, which are kind of like the Oscars of the travel industry. Thonga Beach Lodge was highlighted by the panel of judges for its conservation leadership, recognizing how it manages to blend a luxury visitor experience with sustainability and with community empowerment. So there's a lot to like about this story, and to chat to us more about what has been achieved there, it's my great pleasure to welcome via Zoom Lucy Cooke, who is Thonga Beach's marketing manager. Lucy, congratulations to your team on this second accolade, and thanks so much for your time this afternoon.
Hi, Pippa. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Where exactly is Thonga Beach located? For those who don't know the ins and outs of this bit of coastline like me, I had to go and look it up on a map. Can you just try and locate us geographically?
Yes, sure. So it's about, it's very remote, as you said. It's about a 5-hour drive from King Shaka International Airport up the north coast. It's only accessible by 4x4, so you would drive the last hours on a sandy beach road along the coastal vegetated sand dunes. So it's right near the border of Mozambique, just before Ponta Douro.
Okay, Ponta Douro I have been to, so I can picture it very well. When you say that last bit only accessible by a 4x4 and along a coastal road, is that a service that you as a lodge offer to listeners? Do they drive to a certain point and then get ferried in, or are people allowed to self-drive if they have a 4x4?
Yes, we offer both. So if guests have a 4x4, they're welcome to drive themselves. It's a beautiful road. Otherwise, if they don't, they can park near Thonga Bay, and we offer a transfer service that's provided in partnership with our community that we are next to.
And we'll talk about the community involvement in just a moment. How long has Thonga Beach Lodge actually been there, Lucy?
It's been there about, I think it's 12 years now that it's been there.
Okay, so more than a decade, you're well established as a destination. What do you think it is that makes you stand out from other similar ventures? I mean, tell us about some of the unique experiences that visitors to Thonga Beach will enjoy that you can't easily find in other beachfront venues.
So I think what makes the most magic at Thonga is just how remote it is. And as you said earlier, when you were explaining the Isimangaliso wetland park, you just have this massive expanse of beach where it is so remote. Like you say, there's only footprints that you will find. Yours will be the only footprints there. There are no other accommodations for miles and miles in either direction of the coast. The reefs there are untouched that you go snorkeling in. You get to witness in the summer months the turtle laying and nesting, and then the hatching as well. The turtles come back to the same beach every year to lay their eggs. It is just the most remote and beautiful part of South Africa, I feel. And with our warm KZN waters as well, It makes it a year-round location. So if you're looking for a winter beach getaway, Thonga Beach will be your place to go to.
You've mentioned the snorkeling, and you also mentioned the fact that you're relatively close to Thonga Bay, which I know is a kind of local mecca for scuba divers. Do you facilitate snorkeling and scuba diving trips from the hotel?
Yes, all of our activities are from our lodge. We have our own in-house dive master. We have snorkeling guides, marine guides, all guys from the local community as well that we've upskilled. And yes, because we're so remote, we are about an hour from Thonga. We would be the only ones on those reefs. So our diving reefs, our snorkeling reefs, we would be the only ones there. So it's like your own private little marine reserve.
And that is an extraordinary thing to offer, and particularly with the degradation of reefs around the world, to be able to offer pristine reefs with an uncrowded environment is something very, very special. I mean, the marine world beneath the waves is magnificent. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what you can expect to see on one of your snorkeling trips?
Yes, sure. So it's my absolute favorite activity to do there. One of my favorite sightings has been seeing the octopus move from like rock to rock. I've seen it quite a few times when I've been up there. It's absolutely incredible to see. We often see lionfish. We've seen the eels up there. We've seen the manta rays and all those beautiful, colorful tropical fish that you expect to see, in Finding Nemo only. They're right there beneath the waves on our reefs. It is absolutely amazing what lives beneath our ocean right there on our shore.
You're giving me goosebumps because I had the experience of snorkeling with manta rays about 3 weeks ago in Limbongan, and it was one of the most incredible things I have ever experienced in my life. Completely humbling, a little bit terrifying, it has to be said, but just, I mean, these massive, incredibly magnificent, majestic creatures, to be able to share the water with them was extraordinary. So that's very exciting to hear that you can offer that as well. Now, Lucy, being able to go and enjoy the marine environment, one thing, the turtle engagement on the beachfront, I would imagine, has got to be incredibly carefully managed. Tell us a little bit more about what you can experience there. And I would guess it's going to vary depending on what time of the year you are there.
Yes, so the turtle season runs from November to February every year. So November and December is typically when you get your loggerhead and your leatherback turtles. That is their nesting season. So we have the concession to do beach walks where we can go walk in the evenings. We only do it in the evenings. We can go walk and look for the turtles and view their nesting. Or we also offer the turtle 4x4 drives. So this is quite unique because it can be any time from 7 o'clock at night to 12 o'clock at night, because we can only go at the low tide because we don't want to disturb any of the nests or turtles on there. So we drive along the low tide mark and we can go and look for these turtles. We observe them from a safe distance. And then what that does is it also helps the authorities. We get to report back to them what turtles we've seen, how many nests we've seen, and it helps with all their data and statistics that they try to gather.
Oh, that's fantastic. So while enjoying this incredible experience, you can actually be part of the sort of citizen science element as well, which is great. Keith asking on the WhatsApp how you sort of keep track of visitors and manage to make sure that they play by the rules and don't interfere in any respect. It sounds like the whole process is a very closely guided one, Lucy.
Yes, it is. So our Thonga Beach Lodge is quite a small lodge. It only has 12 rooms. And then our guest vehicle would only have about 9 guests, maybe even less. And we have our 2 guides that would go with them, and they very closely monitor the guests. They advise them what a safe distance is. We've got the red torches because you shouldn't shine any torches onto the turtles. It confuses them. And they are very skilled in how to handle the turtles, not to handle them, but handle the viewing process. And our guests have been very respectful.
I'm glad to hear that. Keith, thanks for asking the question. Just for anybody who's come in midway, our guest joining us via Zoom this afternoon, Lucy Cooke, who is the marketing manager of Thonga Beach Lodge. They were recently recognized for the 2nd consecutive year as South Africa's leading beach hotel in that category at the World Travel Awards, an incredibly prestigious recognition for the 2nd year running. Says a lot about your ability to keep on walking the walk and talking the talk in this respect. Lucy, we've got a voice note from a listener with a question for you, and then I want to talk about the sustainability aspect of the lodge itself and about community empowerment. But first, Judy is curious about catering, I think. Let's take a listen.
Hi there. I'd love to know about Thonga Beach Hotel, particularly how do you resource your food and equipment if you're so remote? Is it flown in by helicopter? Because I'm sure that since you've won this award, that you maintain the highest standards of at the meals that you offer and all of your resources. So how on earth do you manage? It sounds incredible, very tempting.
Doesn't it just? Judy, it's a great question. And yes, indeed, 5-star catering included in your rate at Thonga Beach Lodge. Lucy, what's the answer? How do you manage that very big challenge?
Yes, it is a very big challenge indeed. And our executive chef, he is very organized. You need to be very organized and you've got to plan ahead. You really, really do. So he would plan the menu. It's all done by road transport. We definitely don't helicopter anything in. But it's all sourced locally as much as we can. And what we can't source locally, we get from our head office, which is based in Belito, all via road transport. Okay. So that's it. You'd have to ask our executive chef. He does it very well and very effectively. He's been doing it again for about, I think, 12 years. He started off as the Thonga chef, and he's now executive chef of all of our lodges.
Okay, so say no more. Judy, thanks for asking an interesting question. Now, you've mentioned locally sourced, and I know this is part of the ethos of the lodge that is very, very important to you, that you are not just there for the 12 rooms and the 24 odd guests who might be staying in them. Lucy, this is a business which was partly recognized because of what it has done to empower the local community. Won't you expand on that and tell us a little bit more about how you've worked with them?
Yes, sure. So being so remote, our neighbors, our closest neighbors are the Mabibi community. So we've partnered with them. About 90% of our staff at the lodge are from the Mabibi community. And each guest, when they stay at Thonga Beach Lodge, they would pay a foundation levy. And those levies go towards projects that our Isabindi Foundation runs in that community. So just to give you an idea, some of the projects that we're running there, we've helped the Mabibi Primary School. We recently re-roofed the school. We built a new kitchen for them. We've done a grade R classroom. We've supplied extra teachers to the school. And what we want to do, well, what we do is we offer guests a cultural tour where they can then go on a tour with our guides and go and see exactly where this money is going in the community. They can see what they are contributing towards. So it's a nice full circle moment for the guests, seeing what they are doing. And then we also had a great story from a guest who came to stay there, and he did the community tour. And he was asking one of our guides, what is the issue that needs resolving here? And they said that the Mabibi Primary School is doing so well now with the help of the foundation, but the next high school is about 15 kilometers away, and the children are having to walk to school and back, and they have to get up really early. They get back really late at night. So what this guy did was he donated a 4x4 converted bus to the community, and with the foundation we've helped with the fuel and the driver. These kids are now driven to school and back every day in this 4x4 converted bus. So it really is amazing that we can bring guests, show them what they can do and how they can help. So
what an amazing story, and what a powerful demonstration of how that proper touch point can be converted into long-term support after the listeners have left. That's an incredible story. The other thing we need to talk about before we run out of time, Lucy, is the issue of sustainability. As you've said, you've kept it small. You very closely monitor and manage the guest interactions with the sort of the wild experiences around you. But my understanding is that even the lodge itself, the way it's been built and the way it operates in terms of what you will use in terms of packaging, all of that has been planned with minimal impact in mind. Would you like to elaborate a bit?
Yes, so the way it's built, it's all built on stilts with wooden walkways to have as minimal impact on the sand dunes as possible. We also have no single-use plastics. We use glass bottles. And then a nice little initiative we have is when you go onto the beach, there's little paper bags there. And if guests pick up plastics from the beach and bring it back to the bar, we give them a free cocktail. So we're encouraging guests to interact with us and help us conserve the beach. Our foundation is regularly involved in beach cleanups. We employ a marine monitor to teach the community about sustainable harvesting of the rock pools and fishing. So I could speak forever, so I know you're limited with time. We have loads of initiatives there. All of our activities are low impact, where they don't take anything from the environment.
And that is obviously what brought you to the attention of the World Travel Awards. So my final question to you, Lucy, is really why an accolade like this matters. Obviously, it's a pat on the back for you and your team that says we recognize you're doing good work, keep it up, well done. But do you think there's a broader reach that the kind of spotlight this places, that it can be done this way, is going to encourage others to be more responsible about the way they develop travel opportunities?
Yes, exactly that. It's showing that this model works, that there is a way to be sustainable and still offer a high-end hospitality need. So definitely, I hope it does encourage other lodges to follow suit. And who knows what we could do if we follow this project all over.
Lucy Cooke, thank you so much for joining us. And again, to you and the whole team involved at Thonga Beach Lodge, congratulations on the second win in a row, being recognised at the World Travel Awards as South Africa's leading beach hotel. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you so much, Pippa. Thank you for your time.
You too, keep well. And for those who are appetites whetted, whether the travel wallet can sustain them is another thing entirely. But to check out more about the lodge, including the rack rates, what's involved and included in that rate, and how you can get to book to experience it, please visit thongabeachlodge.co.za. THONGA, Thonga Beach Lodge. And Fiona, thanks, saying what an incredibly uplifting story. That's the reason we wanted to tell this story. And Fiona, thanks for recognizing that I know this is an experience that might be way beyond the budget of some travelers listening, but I love the fact that everything about the way this place has been developed is mindful of how special that location is and mindful of the fact that preserving that pristine environment is essential to the future of development in this area. And I think what it shows in terms of what is possible is what is so important about this story. And then you look at other areas which have not walked the walk and talked the talk and have allowed rampant overdevelopment to ruin what was once a pristine tourist hotspot. It really does sort of show a very stark comparison, a negative one, versus this incredibly positive story. So congratulations again. The website, thongabeachlodge.co.za.